I got embarrassed. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, greetings and welcome to Portalville. My name is Jen. I play news reporter August Potts on the show. Behind the scenes, I also help with production. I'm joined by my husband, John, who produces and writes the Portalville series, which is sponsored by Cosmic Horror Monthly magazine. Today, we have a special guest, actress Claire Cartwright, who just appeared in a very funny horror movie you may all know called Benny Loves You. Hello, Mrs. Cartwright.
Hello, hi.
So I think off the bat, let's get to know you and hear about your background. So it sounds like you had an interesting childhood. You were in Yorkshire and Uganda, and then I think eventually you got into doing theater. So let's hear about that and then your transition to into movies.
Yeah, so I was born in North Yorkshire, which for people who don't know England that well, it's in the north. It's just below Scotland, and that's kind of where I was born and bred and educated. But my dad, when I was about, I think I must have been about 6, he moved to Uganda. His dad had lived in Uganda, and so he moved back to be there. And so I would spend my school holidays visiting him and staying there. And so I'd have these two like incredibly different parts of growing up. One which was, you know, if you're English, quite kind of conventional English, and then the other which was really beautiful and Ugandan and amazing, but in a different way. So that's kind of how I grew up. And the drama thing, I joined, I guess it was my mum just trying to keep me out of trouble, which is the classic story of young people joining a drama group. It's usually because their parents are like, and so I joined this sort of youth theatre company called Livewire, which did outdoor productions in the summer in beautiful places. And it was all kids. I mean, I guess I don't know how old the oldest person was, but we like teenagers basically.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started performing.
Okay. Like we have a 6-year-old daughter she's
really?
very into like performing and doing karaoke, and we're trying to get her into drama.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And is she keen?
Oh yeah. Like she'll come down, like
Right.
we have all these Disney dresses and she'll put performances on. I'm like, I think you need to get into like theater or drama or something.
Yeah, it sounds to me like there's a calling, and she's all for it. That's amazing. That's so great. Also exhausting. I know as a dramatic child that I was probably pretty exhausting for anybody who would sort of get into my space. I'd just be like, hey, want to see something?
Yeah, that's how our daughter is right now.
So you're probably very creative then growing up, and it was difficult to sleep and hold still, huh? So you're always thinking.
I feel like I have quite one of those brains that's maybe a bit both sides, because I'm a ball of energy and a Duracell bunny, but also I sleep really well.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I'll like go, and then I'll just
She doesn't sleep. She doesn't sleep.
Oh, she doesn't sleep, does she not? Has she ever slept?
No. She's just always going, always thinking.
Really?
But you know, I heard Tesla as a kid didn't sleep, so maybe she's brilliant.
I wouldn't put that pressure on her, but
maybe it's a sign of being a genius.
It's not pressure, it's just like a lofty goal to attain.
Yeah.
I think she'll get it.
And I
Tesla's
love that you had the two different cultures growing up. That's something that I didn't have, and I really want our kids to experience that, because you know, you're not in this one little bubble. There's other cultures around the world, and I think that just like really shapes who you are as an adult. So I love that you had that experience.
Yeah.
Do you know, my brother lives there now with his wife and my cousin. So we're still there. And I saw them the other day. They were back, and I was kind of saying, I think when you're young, you don't really know anything, and so you take a lot of things for granted. And I would, as a teenager, dad died when I was 12, and my brother moved out there at that point. But I, as a teenager, used to go out and visit my brother, and we would go to like, a local bar, and I would sit there in this Ugandan bar, and we had like different friends, but I never thought to kind of stop and be like, wow, this is amazing. At the time, I would just do it. And now I sort of look back on it, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And like I went backpacking around Uganda and Kenya, and went a tiny bit into the Congo when I was 12, and with my sister who was 18, just us two.
Oh,
for like
amazing.
A month or something. Isn't
Wow.
that wild? I mean,
Yeah.
my mum definitely did not know that was the plan, and my dad, who was actually no, I can't have been 12. I was 10 or 11.
Yeah, I saw a blurb saying you had gone into the Congo.
Yeah, I know. That was
like,
pretty short-lived.
I was like, yeah, I'm sure that was a cool hike. I gotta ask her about that. I didn't know it was like like a month.
No, I wasn't in the Congo for a month. I was in the Congo really briefly. I think we felt like the infrastructure wasn't that easy to like get around, so we weren't there for very long. But yeah, we took a proper trip around, particularly Uganda and Kenya. Just me as a 10-year-old and my sister as an 18-year-old. Because my dad was like not a very responsible father, and was just like, yeah, see you later, have a lovely time,
have fun in the Congo.
yeah. I think my mom thought that he was going to come with us, but that wasn't communicated. So that's what we did. So and at the time I was like, well, sure, here I am. I've been, Uganda's my home as well. So and this is my sister. She's ancient. She's 18. So this is fine. Yeah.
Adult, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I guess your childhood in theater has really evolved. Now that you're in movies, it wasn't just like, a pastime, it's actual career, which is amazing. Yeah. So for viewers and listeners who may not have seen Benny Loves You yet, can you describe what fans of horror can expect with this film and the character that you play?
So what can you expect? I think best to go in with no expectations, because it's mad. Yeah. So I think just expect nothing to be as you are expecting it to be, and that would probably help. Expect comedy. I think, I don't know, you guys might be able to tell me, but is it particularly British, the comedy?
Yes, and I was telling her, to me it's like a cross between Shaun of the Dead, also right. British, but also kind of with Chucky, like Child's Play, something like that.
Yeah, it's the Cornetto trilogy, which is the Shaun of the Dead trilogy with oh my God, now I've suddenly forgotten the names of the other two in it. Anyway, but they're that sort of flavor. They're
yes, definitely.
The kind of madcap, silly, super silly as you can get. And I think that it's the horrors there. It's a film that really enjoys and leans into both aspects of that. The comedy is such a vital part of it, and the horror as well. The director is such a huge, director, writer, producer, actor, editor. He did everything. But he is a huge horror fan. And so it was, I think when you're watching a horror, you can really tell when it's been made by a horror fan, because there's so much heart and love and, you know, kind of respect for the genre and the films that have come before that have inspired the people to make films themselves, or you know, just to watch them. It's such a, I feel like the horror genre and people, fans of horror movies, makers of horror movies, are such a passionate breed. They're such a kind of devoted, amazing group of people. Just sort of meeting some of them along the road of this journey, it's so nice. They really love their genre and passionately support it, which is amazing, because it's amazing to be in a film that's part of that, because you really get swept up.
Yeah. And I could just tell, because you asked if it was like particularly British, you know, and the part that I like how it's blunt. There's like these blunt lines like "you suck at life," you know, and then there's like the dry humor, where no one's laughing. It's not like cheesy or corny. It's very dry. Like that's what I love, you know. And then there's things going around them, and they don't even notice, you know.
But like fans of like the 80s gory Child's Play movies, like stuff like that, or like Puppet Master, they're really gonna love it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of gore and some good kills in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of gore, and I think, but the gore somehow feeds into the comedy. Do you know what I mean? Because it's extreme, some of it, and you're like really shocking, and you can't do anything other than laugh, because you know it's kind of that kind of gore, which a lot of people really enjoy.
Well, comedy and horror, they work so well together too, because they both kind of build up attention to like their punchline. Like there's that one scene in the movie, spoiler alert, where I think Benny had killed someone, right? And Jack is in the kitchen talking to the two cops, but the body's like in a little cabinet, just slowly like falling. They like don't even notice. There's like this tension there, but you're laughing the whole time. So it's a really, and it all, you know, it's down to the editing as well, like building that, and it's my face really hurt when I was watching it. I think partly because I was sort of laughing, and partly because I felt really tense. all points, you're like, oh God, worried about what's going to happen next. Well, I guess that can lead us into our next question. Do you have any funny or terrifying stories from the set? Just feel free to embarrass anyone you want. We won't bleep out their name, but even if you want to embarrass yourself.
So the problem is that we filmed this so long ago. Like we must have filmed this 6 years ago, something like that. So all those memories around the set, we stayed in the house that we filmed in.
Yeah.
Like I cannot describe to you how little budget this film had. It was amazing. There was no crew. There was no anybody. Everyone was just doing everything, making food, you know, holding a boom if you weren't doing something else. It was amazing. And it's a really nice house. I mean, it's a lovely house, but it had been designed to be creepy because it's the set of a horror movie. And so there was definitely moments where you'd like sleepily get up to go to the bathroom or something, and there'd be just a head lying in the hallway as you were walking to the bathroom, and you'd be like, oh God, or
the severed head,
a stuffed dog just lying there with blood and guts coming out of it. So it was kind of like a house of horrors where you stay overnight and are working there.
Immersed. How long were you there?
I was a few weeks, but they weren't all back to back. So I guess probably I was filming for maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. I apologize. My memory is really, it's not very clear anymore. But I was there for, I guess, all in all, because it was in 2 different locations. So we shot some of the office stuff a bit later. But all in all, filming for a few weeks. But it wasn't like a whole month in the House of Horrors.
Well, still though, I mean, you're like immersed, and then you wake up and then open your eyes, and there's like the Benny stuffy just sitting there.
Yeah. And you're just like eating your sandwich next to him, being
Watching
like,
me.
"Hi, okay?" Yeah. And it was amazing. There was friends and parents and people just really getting this movie made, which made it really fun. I mean, it was like no other film set that I've ever been on, because usually you have, it's completely different. You've got 1,000 people on set, and this was just basically like a little family unit, and we were all absolutely in it and making it, and it's so nice because when there's that few people, you can tweak, you can play in a way that's more difficult actually when there are 50 people to worry about in terms of timing or whatever it is. So we would film all night. Sometimes we would really just go and go and go, and it was a real kind of guerrilla filmmaking style that was really liberating in lots of ways. It was great, and everyone on it was just lovely. I've got a terrible what's the word, habit. It's not really a habit, I can't help it, but I get terrible giggles and really struggle, especially if you're filming something like that, and lots of things are just funny and wild and mad to look at. So I would get hysterical, like shaking with laughter, giggles in the middle of a scene. And if I wasn't on camera, then they'd just keep going and someone else would have to do their scene with me. Awful, deeply unprofessional. I'm very embarrassed about it.
So there's like a good
stage too. I've done it on stage.
There's a good blooper reel out there somewhere we haven't seen.
Probably.
Yet.
I would imagine there is an amazing blooper reel out there somewhere. Yeah.
Get that Blu-ray, DVD finally or something.
Exactly. Have you guys have you seen or heard that they've got the Benny Loves You stuffed toy?
No, I didn't, but I was, maybe it's just because I was on Amazon. I was looking around for a stuffy. I thought maybe I'd do like a gag for this little interview. I couldn't find it online, so it probably worked out for the best, but.
Yeah, probably. But they did, they're making them. I'm not sure where they're available, maybe not in the US yet. But I mean, I say I'm sure, I actually don't know, but I know that some people have now got their very own Benny, which may or may not be a good idea.
No, you know what? I got a story though. Speaking of, so if we get one, we'll be in big trouble because we have a 4-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So I was making like this little advertisement to kind of promote this interview after we recorded. I was just like in my zone, and I didn't know my son had come behind me, and I hear him go, "Dad, why does that stuffy have a knife?" Right? And I was like, oh, so I tried to shut it down, but my Photoshop wasn't responding, so I couldn't close the file. And then the next day, he had called us up, or in the middle of the night, saying he had a nightmare. So he's been having nightmares about this movie. He hasn't seen it, but just the imagery.
Just the image.
So if we have a stuffy in this house,
no, it can't happen.
Again.
Absolutely not. It absolutely can't happen. My nephew is really into movies, but he's like 9, and he was like, "Oh well, when can I watch it?" It's like, no, never. No, I don't get scared. I don't get scared. It's like, no.
But we could do stuffy like that elf on a shelf though.
No, the elf on the shelf's scary enough for me. So I wanted to ask, in the movie, there's a surprise moment where your childhood doll comes back. This is another spoiler. seeking revenge on you, and then there's a battle. Has this situation, if it happened in real life, what childhood toy of yours from your past do you think would be hell-bent on destroying you?
I don't know. I can't quite believe that I'm about to reveal this, but I still have a stuffed animal. Like I still have a teddy that I love
that now.
very deeply. So he certainly wouldn't, because I've been loyal to him. So he'll stick around. But I was definitely one of those kids where I would have all of my teddies in my bed, and there'd be like a tiny corner for me to sleep in. And my mom was always like, take some of these out, you don't have any room. I was like, no, I love them. And then there was quite a brutal cull at one point. So honestly, I think probably there'd be a gang of them. And they'd be led, I think they'd be led by a big, I called it Thumper, which I'm pretty sure every kid who'd ever seen Bambi would have called their rabbit. And I would imagine it would have been led by Thumper, because Thumper was a particular favorite. And then one day I was just like, Thumper was big too, got to get out of here. So yeah, there'd be a gang of angry teddies, and they'd be terrifying.
I had the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater was The Lion King.
Oh,
and
right.
It was the very first one I ever saw. Love it. And so I had a Simba stuffy that I had all the time.
Right.
I had a Simba stuffed animal. I have no idea what happened to it. I don't remember.
Oh, you were in trouble then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
Randy
that just
Raccoon.
casually stopped being a part of your life, and there was no ceremony to it.
I know. I don't remember anything about it. It's gone.
Oh, wow.
It's just
You would
gone.
be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simba's the one that's gonna come through if ever the teddies revolt.
Yeah.
Well, with this in mind, we have a little fun activity to try.
Okay.
If you're game for it, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so this is kind of like a warm-up game they do in drama classes, okay?
Okay.
Have you done it? Have you ever played one word at a time?
Yes.
Oh,
you're bad.
there we go.
I haven't, so this is gonna be bad for me.
Oh, well, I'm a drama student. Well, hang on, let me just double check that it's the same one as I play. So we like tell a story using one word at a time and going in order. Yeah. I know this one.
So I'm gonna say the rules for the audience. You already kind of set them. So
yeah,
here are the rules. So you'll be given a situation or scene by the director, which today is gonna be me. I'm copping out of this.
Oh, hang on, you're not playing.
I got you two.
Maybe you should play.
Maybe we should all play.
We should all play. Yeah.
One of you will say a single word, and the next will say a single word to continue the sentence or the story, and so on. So it's kind of like an improv, like ad-lib game. You'll create a scene together, one word at a time. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's the situation. I am the esteemed director.
But maybe you're actor, director, writer,
You're
producer, editor.
Directors also act in their own.
Yeah.
Okay, well here's the scene. You are both on a trip to Portalville. You enjoy a relaxing evening at a party, reminiscing old times.
You were there too.
But suddenly you hear screaming. You look around, and there are your disgruntled, long-lost toys. I guess in this case, an army of teddies led by Thumper, Simba, and I guess in my case, Randy Raccoon.
Randy Raccoon. Wow.
They're animated. They're very much alive, and they have murdered the entire guest list. You are both next, or I guess in this case, I'm included.
Yeah,
Your only hope of living is to either fight the demonic toys or escape the party. So the whole scene's going to be us. I was trying to get out of this, but I guess I'm included.
Mm-hmm.
And is this is dialogue rather than description?
Yeah.
Is it? Fine. Right.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how to escape the Thumper gang and
The Thumper gang.
Simba and Randy Raccoon.
So
are they all in the same gang, or are they all leading separate gangs all at once?
That's a good question.
I think Randy Raccoon has got in line, and he's with Thumper and the gang now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So they all communicated before coming here and
Yeah.
joined forces. Terrifying.
So we'll do maybe like 90 seconds.
Right.
So
Okay,
I'll,
who's gonna start? You gonna start?
I'll start it, I guess. Yeah.
You, Claire, me.
Yeah, great.
The timer? Okay. Yeah. I'll hit the timer. Oh,
My
God,
we
must
get
a
dog
on
the
chase
after
Thumper
has
a.
chainsaw
Oh no.
but
We
could
never
capture
Randy Raccoon
or
Thumper.
because
they
Have
grenades
in
the yard. Oh, and that's 2 words. Yard.
what
is
Coming
for
us.
we
must
Leave
without
fighting
them
using
machetes
and
I can't go on.
well time's up. I think we failed.
See, I think Claire did the best. She knows what she's doing.
I don't know that was a good scene.
No, there was
Cut.
grenades and there was machetes and
I was
I,
thinking,
I think there was confusion as to whether we were or were not going to fight before we
I know.
left.
I thought we were gonna fight, and then you
Then we
decided,
decided not to.
I think my mistake was saying they had grenades.
yeah.
Can't really escape that.
I did want to ask you though, when I was watching the movie, I saw that there was like this montage of all of you preparing to fight, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Any? Yeah, and you're setting up all your booby traps. And I saw that the character Jack was testing out a flamethrower and like did it right above your head, and you looked like sincerely shocked. I wanted to ask if that was planned.
I don't think so. I don't think we used a real flamethrower just above my head. I'm pretty sure we didn't. I would remember that, wouldn't I? That was just excellent acting.
Yeah, I was like, wow, she looked legit, like was not ready.
But it's the sort of thing where it probably would have happened. There was a lot of quite surprising things that I wasn't fully ready for. So I don't think he almost burnt me alive with a flamethrower.
Like right over your head. You're like, oh. I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're on where can we keep up to date with your current and future film projects and social media?
So social media, oh my goodness, I'm on Instagram. I think claire.s.cartwright is my handle. And I that's kind of it on social media. I'm not brilliant at it.
Yeah.
I need to get better. But I tend to post on there about things that are coming up. I'm producing a play in London, which probably for most of your listeners is a bit far to come. You never know if anyone's around London in September, then come to that. And so yeah, that's where on Instagram and IMDb and
Awesome.
that sort of place.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you so
We're
much
happy
for
to
having
find out
me.
more about you.
Yeah,
And
thanks for
really
being a good
appreciate
sport.
it. Yeah.
Oh, well, you're so welcome. Thanks for the game. It was really fun, and thank you so much for asking me on. It was great.
Yeah, thank you. And everybody out there, go see this film. Benny Loves You. It's on demand. Go see it now. If you're a horror fan, horror comedy, you gotta see it.
Yeah. And until next time, have a wonderful twilight.